What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. Today we're going to make another entry into the Spearfishing for Beginners playlist. We're going to go over what's in my dive bag. What do I carry on a day-to-day basis when I am spearfishing and diving? A couple of things I'm not going to cover. Well, one thing I'm not going to cover, I'm not going to go over spear guns. I'm going to go over essential gear, some of the accessories, and down to wetsuits. My wetsuits are actually in storage. It's summer here, so I don't have them, but I will talk about them. And in all of the items that I go over today, I will have links in the description if you're interested in getting them. One thing I will say is when shopping for spearfishing gear, main things like mask, snorkel, fins and booties and gloves, I really recommend you try them on first if you have the opportunity. If not, a lot of places will allow you to return stuff nowadays, but everyone is shaped different and has different preferences. So just because it works for me, it may not work for you, but I'm happy to share what it is that I use and have found over the years. I've been diving my entire life, hardcore spearfishing, free diving for probably about, I don't know, 12, 15 years. I can't remember. But this is everything that I found on. Everything I landed on. I've been using this stuff for more than all of these individual items for more than 5 years, and I am thrilled with them. So let's dive in. We'll start with essential gear and move our way more over towards accessories and some bonus items. So we'll start with masks. I have two different masks that I use. One's for pleasure, one's for filming. This mask is the Scuba Pro Solo. I've been diving with this mask since I was 18 years old. I think this is the best mask on planet Earth for my face. We're all different. I have trouble with free diving masks, pressing really hard on my forehead and giving me really bad headaches. So I actually dive with scuba masks. Both of these are scuba masks. The difference between a free dive and a scuba mask is the amount of volume of air it takes to equalize that pressure. Do you need a free diving mask or a free diving mask to free dive? No, I use both my masks are scuba masks, but this is Scuba Pro Solo. This is a Go Mask Panorama. This one has a mount built in where I can connect my Osmo straight to it. I'm not thrilled with this mask. It is the only mask that has a mount that fits my face. Again, it doesn't press on my forehead and doesn't give me those headaches. But this is the mask that I have found is best for filming for me. They make a ton of free dive masks with those mounts. I can't wear them. They're extremely painful. So those are my two masks. Again, everything I go over is going to have links in the description. SoFlo Spearfishing silicone snorkel. I love a flexi bendy snorkel. I've never had one dry rot or crack in the sun. When I used to use hard snorkels, I had them snap and break. They get slammed indoors or whatever, fall under gear, stepped on. I've had them break. I love the flexible ones, and I like white because it's high visibility. You can see me on the surface. Dive socks. These are Argos dive socks. A while back they were having a stock issue, and I don't know if it was just a COVID thing. I'm the type of guy, if I have trouble getting something, when I am able to get it, I order a bunch. So I have like 10 pairs of these now. I haven't ordered any in the past, but I'm pretty sure they probably are back in stock. But Argos dive socks, they're nice and thin. They do really well with free diving fins. Scuba booties are different than socks. If you're getting into free diving, I recommend socks and not booties, so to speak. Booties are much thicker and heavier and bulkier. Gloves, Dyneema gloves. A lot of people make these now. I get mine from Neptonics. I order so much stuff from Neptonics regularly. I normally just throw some gloves in the basket when I'm shopping. But I love these. They're cut resistant. And they do have a rubber coating on the bottom side. I use them from anything from spearfishing to lobstering, and they do a great job. I love those. Weight belt. This is a Alchemy spearfishing weight belt. It's silicone. I love a stretchy weight belt for free diving. The reason being, if you're using a weight belt that doesn't have any stretch and doesn't conform to your body as it compresses at depth, it's going to slide up you, and it's a real pain when you're down 70, 80 feet and your weight belt's sliding up your chest. It is not fun. You're not going to enjoy it. So these are stretchy. You can put a little bit of tension on it when you wrap it around your hips. When you go down to depth, you're not going to have issues with it sliding up. Silicone weight belt from Alchemy. Dive knife. So I have two favorites. Right now I'm currently using, I have extras. I kind of just use them as they get dull over the years. I just change them. Like I said, I'm the guy that buys tons of everything. That way I have extras. My two favorites are the Koa spearfishing dive knife, and this is the Red Tide spearfishing dive knife. I have a Koa sheath because the last one I used was a Koa and I actually lost it. But now I have a Red Tide dive knife sheath in there. I like the Red Tide a lot because it has a double serrated edge. I really like the Koa knife sheath because it has a magnetic connector in there, and you don't even need This bungee I actually added. They have a different one that doesn't work very good. Had to wait for the jets to clear out. I'm competing with the jets today. They're flying. But I tend to get off on tangents, and I am a little bit. But Koa dive knife, red tide dive knife are my two favorites. For me, a dive knife is for two reasons. I want to be able to dispatch fish and gut them, so I need a sharp point, and I need to be able to cut stuff in an emergency. So I personally like a double serrated edge with which the red tide has. The Koa is another great knife if you like to have one straight edge and one serrated edge. It's an amazing knife as well. They're pretty much identical knives. One just has double serrated, one has a single serrated. But that is my dive knife. Dive light. If you watch the videos, you know that I'm up in holes, looking in cracks, searching for grouper, whatever it may be. This is my favorite dive light. I've used quite a few different ones. This is the Neptonics dive light. Again, we'll have links for all this stuff. I think it's 860 lumens. Reason I like this light, it's twist on. I hate the push buttons because you always forget the battery in it when you're traveling, moving. It gets hit and you get there and the battery's dead. I like the twist on. Another reason I like this one is because it has the option. You can run it on AAA's, but it has the option for rechargeable batteries. It's just like an e-cig battery. I order these in bulk, but typically I get a few years out of these batteries before they go bad, and I just order a four bank charger, and I always have extra batteries. And what I did differently is they come with little lanyards. I don't even know if I have one. I normally just throw them out or use them for something else. They come with little lanyards on them. I hate the lanyards. I just put a little carabiner clip on it, and I add this little clip. I don't know if I have a link for this, but dive belt clip or something like that, dive belt accessory clip, and I add that on there, and just like that. Same thing with my lobster gauges and stuff. I clip it off right off to my belt. But that is my dive light, Neptonics. Dive watch. I get a lot of questions about this. I like the Suunto D4F. I've tried other watches in the past. I've gotten not as much time out of them before they've gone bad. I've had this Suunto for probably 4 years. I think I've changed the battery once, and I absolutely love this watch. Little more pricey, but I'm the type of guy I like to buy quality once if I can help it. Went through some other ones, ended up on this one, and I love this watch. I normally am going to have baby shampoo or spit defogger. This baby shampoo I use to get into my wetsuits in the wintertime, and in the summertime I put some in a spray bottle, mix some water with it, shake it up, and that is my defogger. Either works fine. Defogger is pretty much just soap. A lot of people just spit in their mask, so either works. Depending on what I'm doing, a lot of times I will have a flasher set in my bag. Typically you're going to see us in the videos use these for wahoo. Most often I actually made this float myself. The floats are actually kind of expensive, so I just make the floats. But these are Merc Crew, M-U-R-K, Merc Crew flashers. I'll put a link up for them as well. Typically I'm going to carry some type of flashers in my bag. I am also going to carry throw flashers. So these are going to float on the surface and dangle. These are, you throw them and they sink. If you watch my videos, you'll see me use these a lot. I'll find a link for someone that makes them. I make them myself, but you can't buy them online. This is literally just PVC and mirror vinyl from Amazon. I'll actually put the mirror vinyl link from Amazon up if you want to make your own. Very simple. You just buy a 10-foot section of PVC, chop it up, and roll the sticky mirror vinyl on there. But you gotta have these. I love these. I use them all the time. Fins. So I actually have 3 sets of fins. I'm going to show you 2. If you're into free diving, you have to get 1 set. I would get a set of long blades. These are my Alchemy V3 Pros. I use these for inshore, crawling around in holes in the mangroves, anything backcountry, shallow stuff, lobstering. I'm gonna kick these. I like carbons. If you are new to spearfishing, you don't want to break the bank, I would look into some plastics, but I love carbons. If you plan on getting deeper, really trying to elevate your free diving game, I would look into spending the money and getting some carbons. So these are the Alchemy V3s with the Pathos pockets, 23-degree angle. Some people like the 30-degree. I personally don't. I haven't kicked a ton of them, but I prefer the 23 mainly because of the pockets. I have V3s and I have Alchemy S's. Your average person is not going to be able to tell the difference. I'm getting off on a tangent, but a lot of you guys asked me about fins, so I want to elaborate a little bit. Your average person is not going to tell the difference between the V3s and the S's. If I were to have to pick one or the other, for all-around diving, I would probably pick the S personally. The V3s, I think, are more for up and down diving, straight up and down diving. They are just a smidge longer. The S's are a little shorter and a little more versatile. Like I do a lot of hole hunting. I'm crawling around in holes and rocks and whatnot. But they're both amazing fins. They just have a slightly different applications. I am 155 pounds, 6'1", 160 if I've had a few beers that week. And I typically am going to kick a medium soft blade. So all of my blades as of the past few years have been medium soft. I tried some heavier ones in the past, didn't work out. So medium soft blades. And we'll get to some winter accessories. Actually, let's talk about wetsuits. All of my summer suits are Neptonic suits, rash guards. They make a 1 mil that I really like. I'll put links for those, the ones that I do use on the that's on the Neptonic site. My winter suits, my 3 mils and up, I actually use Polo Sub. They're in storage. Like I said, I'm not going to pull them out. I ordered custom suits 3 or 4 years ago. I normally get about 2 seasons out of them, but you have to keep in mind I dive way more than most people. I will never order a regular suit off the rack ever again. I'm an oddly shaped person. I'm 6'1", 155. Apparently, if you're 6'1", you're supposed to be like 190 pounds. So I am tall and skinny. None of the suits off the shelf fit me, so I had to order. I didn't have to. I tried ordering custom suits. I will never buy a suit off the shelf ever again. Love the custom suits from Polo Sub. If it is wintertime or I'm doing any big game, this is my go-to float, the Koa Blue Water Float. You pump it up. I think the max is, 25 PSI max. I, down here in Key West, have not put anything on the other end of this that this thing could not handle. I've shot wahoo in the high 60s. I've had clients shoot wahoo over in the 70s with this float. Not a problem. This thing does its job. And it does actually, you can let the air out of it and roll it up and travel with it if you want to. This is my favorite float. And float lines. I get all my float lines from Neptonics. I have 2 that I prefer. The other one that's not in this hand, my buddy DJ has. He's actually going to Guatemala for yellowfin tuna, so he's going to borrow it. Float lines, they have a regular. This is a standard solid core float line. They have a stretch float line that I also like. Both are great, just depending on what I'm doing. If I had to get just one, I would probably get the stretch float line. But I typically am going to run, I have a bunch from my chartering days left over that I still use and just lend out, but all of my float lines are between 75 and 100 feet. But I believe that is all. That is the gear in my dive bag. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go over spear guns today. I am making some other videos where I'm making a video about shopping for spear guns, and I'm going to go over my guns in that video. But that is all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you're new to the channel, check out some of the other videos. We have a great time living in and on the water down here in the Florida Keys. And if there's something you don't see on the playlist that you would like seen, be sure to subscribe first and then leave a comment and tell me what it is you want to see. I'll do my best to get to it. That's all I got. I'll see you on the next one. Later.